Is the vaccination the mark of the beast? Is the vaccination for the so-called COVID, is it the mark of the beast? Do you know what, right? Do you even read the Bible? That's my question. Do you even read the Bible? Now, I'm not advocating getting that madness pumped into your veins anyway, but I see this question popping up quite a lot. You know, there is even saints out there who are saying that this is the mark of the beast. You know, we are in the third or fourth trumpets being blown, and we are actually in the tribulation period. And I'm like, do saints even read the Bible? Bro, are you even reading the Bible, mate? Because some of these comments I hear online and in Christendom, I think to myself, most saints don't know what the Bible says. Most saints seem to be, I don't know where their spirit is. I don't know where their thinking is. I don't know where it's at. But I know it's in unsound doctrine, and it's in YouTube, Facebook, social media doctrine. Do you know there is a Facebook and social media doctrine that's based in falsehoods and madness? It's based in likes and in views and in favourites. Do you know that? It's all based on Instagram. It's all based on people getting their video pumped up to the top, and they're coming up with these strange concepts that are not even biblical. Not even biblical. Let me help you out. I heard someone say, and I've heard this a few times, that we are in the tribulation period and that the seals have already been broken. Now, this is the most wildest accusation or interpretation I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean we're in the tribulation period? What are you talking about? Let me give you an example about this, all right? When it speaks about the first seal, it speaks about, I think it's a white horse that came out and it was given power to conquer. And then another horse comes out, and the third horse is, I know the third horse was a black horse, I think it was, and that is, it talks about famine, okay? And then it's the last horse, it says is a pale horse, and death and hell followed him, and then that horseman was given power to kill a third part of human beings with pestilence and sword and with wild beasts. I think it's a third, or is it a fourth? A fourth of human beings. Okay. Now there's 7.5 billion people on the earth. Number one. So if a third or a fourth of that, a fourth or a third of 7.5 billion people dying is 2.25 billion. Let me tell you something. I haven't seen that. Have you seen 2.25 billion people die? No. Have you seen a mass economic collapse? According to the third horseman, where it comes up with a pair of scales, that speaks about economic collapse. Have you seen that hyperinflation? No. No one hasn't seen that. Why? Because it hasn't happened yet. We haven't seen these things happen. Even it speaks about the sixth seal, where it speaks about how the kings and leaders of the earth hide themselves in caves and say, hide us from him that sits upon the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. They're hiding in rocks and in caverns. Have you seen any of that yet? And the answer is going to be no. No, you have not seen that. Nowhere. So if you haven't seen that, then how can this so-called vaccination coming out be the mark of the beast? How can it be that? Because you haven't even seen the first seals even be opened yet. People will come with some crazy interpretations. No. Listen, do you know that the mark of the beast is introduced into society in Revelation chapter 13? The beast rises out of the sea, okay? And then it gives power to the image of the beast, that whoever shall not worship the image of the beast should be put to death. That has to happen first. And then it says, and then he calls of all those small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. This beast system causes or forces those who are rich, poor, slave or free, doesn't make a difference. This system forces them. This means there's rich people that are not going to want to take it, but this system will force them to take it. Have you seen any of that stuff yet? Do you know that the mark of the beast it's a mark? Number one, it's a mark, and it's a mark of the beast. It's a number of his name. That number is 666, whatever that may be. Does it mean computer? Is it the mark of Allah? That's how it's been interpreted by, I don't know, Walid Salbot, I think the guy's name is. I won't go into any of that. what my point is, all right, is that when prophecy comes to pass, things have to happen before that. The son of perdition has not even been revealed. The him that maketh desolate has not been revealed. In 2 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2 and onwards, or 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and onwards, speaks about that man of sin has to be revealed. That man of sin has not been revealed. Why? If he's been revealed, you'd know who he is. As a believer, you would know who the son of perdition is, because you're a believer and you'll see him and say, that's the Antichrist right there. That has to happen. Has it happened? No, it hasn't happened. So it's like when we start to see people, like I said, I'm not advocating for pumping my veins full of that nonsense. No way. Because I know that if people start to take that in their veins and put that in their body, you know what I'm talking about? Those chemicals in their body, what's going to happen is there's a lot of people, some people are going to start dying. There'll be a lot of people going to die. And you're going to see people die from that by side effects and all the rest of it, because they're rushing these things through. And people are going to take it, and a lot of people are going to be injured by it. I know that for a fact. That's what's going to happen. I'm not taking any of that stuff. But I'm just trying to point out that there has to be a sequence of events that has to take place first before you see the mark of the beast. The 6 seals have to be broken. 7 seals have to be broken before you see the mark of the beast. 7 seals. The 7 seals have not been broken yet. We are in a time of troubles where Christ was speaking to the 4 disciples in Matthew chapter 24, speaking about wars and rumors of wars and everything like that. We think that every time something crazy happens, that it's the end days and Christ is coming back tomorrow and the mark of the beast is here. Every time listen, let me tell you something, right? What might find interesting, because I know history, and history is very helpful. And you guys who follow me in my Bible studies, you know that I know a bit about history, because you hear me talk about it, and history puts things into context. Did you know that in 1938 at the Second World War, that because everybody thought, the Christian community thought that Hitler was the Antichrist, and they believed that Mussolini, who was the head of fascism, I think, in Italy, they thought he was the false prophet. Do you know that? Why? Because they so-called killed 6 million Jews, all right, and they put 6 million Jews in a concentration camp. They thought Hitler was the Antichrist. Did you know that? No, you did not know that. Why? Because it's 2020 and most of us are not students of history, and we think that computers and the internet has always been here. Yes, you millennials, you actually think that mobile phones have always been here. No, they have not. You think that the internet has always been here, and it's been 10, 50, 70 megabits per second download. That's what you think, and 30 megabit per second upload. You think Google's been here since, I don't know, the breaking of the dawn of time. That Christ made Google on day 3. No, it has not been here. So we need to understand history. And we will find, when you go through history, you will see that every major event that happened, they thought it was the end days and that Christ was coming back and the Antichrist was there. When they had the bubonic plague in the 15th, 16th century that killed up to a third of Europe, got killed for the bubonic plague. Do you know they thought that was one of the seals being broken and the horseman called pestilence was being let loose? Did you know that? No, you didn't know that. Why? Because we don't study history. So what am I trying to say? That every time a main event happens, we always, the believers always say it's the mark of the beast. The Antichrist is here. What's his name? Listen to me. Obama's the Antichrist. Trump's the Antichrist. Macron, the head of the Prime Minister of France, is the Antichrist. They even said in 1997 that Tony Blair was the Antichrist. Do you know that? No, you don't know that. Why? Because you probably wasn't born then. You probably wasn't alive then. I'm trying to tell you, I've been around for a little while and I know these sequence. I'm not playing it down saying that, I'm blind, that when, the son of perdition turns up, I won't be able to identify him. No, I will be able to identify it, because I will know through the scriptures who it would be, and we'll all know it. The Antichrist would not be able to hide, because everybody would know who it is. But I'm just trying to say there's a lot of fear mongering out there by people who don't know the Bible. There's people online that quote a few scriptures, but let me tell you something, they don't know the Bible. They don't know the Bible. And what they do is they bring fear and worry into the hearts of the believer, and it all goes crazy. No. We're not having any of that. Let's put things into its perspective. Let's put things in its proper sequence, because like I said, when something goes wrong, everybody thinks that Jesus Christ is coming back tomorrow and the rapture is going to happen, I don't know, tomorrow, in 3 years' time, or whatever. And they think that, it's the third horseman has appeared. Do you know what you need to understand about prophecy? especially in the book of Revelation. Listen to me. Listen to me. The tribulation period is 7 years. The tribulation period is 7 years, okay? The seals get broken in the first 3.5 years. And in the Great Tribulation is 3.5 years going to the end of the last 7 years, okay? So it's split into 2 halves, 3.5 years in the beginning, 3.5 years at the end, okay? But we think that the mark of the beast is here. The mark of the beast turns up during the second part of the Great Tribulation. The second part of it. That's when the mark of the beast turns up. Do you know that? So when people are saying the mark of the beast is some sort of vaccination that's coming out, no, you're putting chapter 13, chapter 14, 3-4 years before the event's meant to happen. There's a sequence of events that has to happen first. There's things that have to happen first before you see the mark turn up. The beast has not risen out of the sea yet. We haven't seen that. And when it does happen, you will know that. You will know, because all the prophecies in the book of Revelation happen very quickly over a 7-year period. They happen rapidly. So what am I trying to say? Pump that stuff in your veins? No, I don't advocate that. Don't do that. I'm not doing that. Allow that. But I'm just trying to say, don't be fearful. Okay, don't be fearful about what's happening, because things have to happen first. So don't worry. But like I said, I'm not putting that inside my veins, and my kids ain't having any of that at all, because I know a lot of people are gonna perish. A lot of people will perish or have some severe side effects from that. You know, it's like they say, wormwood coming out of the sky. Wormwood hasn't come out of the sky yet. It makes my mind boggle. Let me show you something. When we're in the tribulation period, you will know. Why? Because you're going to see 3 billion people dead. Do you know that? Woo! 3 billion. Listen, listen. If we understand and read the trumpet judgments, you will see that one of the trumpet judgments, it has enough power to wipe out 1/3 of the population on the earth. So if you add that 1/3 to the fourth of the population that got wiped out by the 4th horseman of the apocalypse, you'll see like about 3.5 billion people dead. We ain't seen that yet. Why? We haven't seen how much 3.5. Listen, we'd know about that. We haven't seen that yet. All we're seeing is confusion, and we're seeing all disinformation and all craziness. That's all that we're seeing. So don't panic, man. As a son of God, we're here to do a job. We're here to bring the gospel. We're here to ramp up our work in the earth to get as many saved as possible. But it's Robert, Ambassador for Christ. I'm rambling. I've been speaking for 12.5 minutes. If you're still here, it's because you are probably used to me rambling. But listen, you guys, I shall see you guys a little bit later. Ramble.